Shri Gauranga Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Jayo Radhe Jayo Krishna Jayo Vrindavan Shri Govinda Gopinath Madana Mohan. Reading from chapter 32 of the Jaiva Dharma, a continuation of the subject matter of Madhurya Ras, the Vishai and the Ashray. After taking prasad, Vijay Kumar took rest in the night. Brajanath, after finishing his bhajan, kept his beads aside and went to sleep. Vijay Kumar did not sleep. Previously he had known that Golok was a separate place. Now he could understand that Golok and Gokul were the same. This was the subject matter of our previous reading, that Golok is identified as that within the spiritual world. Gokul is the manifested Vrindavan within this material world. But they are non-different. So he came to understand this, that Golok there and Gokul here are non-different. The root of the Parakya Ras was in Golok, but a worry arose concerning how Krishna could be the Upapati. Parakya Ras, again identified as out of wedlock or conjugal relationships, and Krishna is identified as the Upapati, not the pati, not the husband, but the lover. So he thought that Krishna was the supreme object. Shakti was non-different from the Shaktiman, the possessor of the Shakti. Even if Shakti is separate, how can one say the Shakti is married to someone else and that Krishna is an Upapati? So if one identifies, well, the gopis are all Krishna's Shaktis, but then logically you can think, well, how could they be married to someone else? They're connected to Krishna. How could Krishna be the Upapati, meaning the lover, and they have husbands somewhere else? So these kind of thoughts ran through his mind. He thought that he would resolve his doubt the next day by asking his guru. But then he thought that it was not correct to ask his guru about Golok. However, it was necessary to resolve the doubt. In this way, thinking intensely, he went to sleep, pondering this subject matter. In deep sleep, Vijay Kumar, considering the topic and facing his guru, asked the question. So here he sees because it's so much on his mind, he resolves it in his dream by approaching his guru. In the dream, his guru resolved his doubt. Gopal Guru Goswami said, "Oh Vijay, Krishna's desire is uncontrollable. He has an eternal desire that he hide his powers and reveal his sweetness." Krishna Vraj is known for his sweetness. God or Narayan, like that, is generally, even forms of Krishna are known for their power. But in Vraj, Krishna hides its power and reveals his ultimate quality of sweetness. He then gives his Shakti a separate existence. Thus his Shakti takes on millions of forms of young women, and they try carefully to serve that supreme Shakti, meaning Radharani. Not caring for the service rendered by the Shakti in the majestic mode, Aishwarya, Krishna is seen outside of Vrindavan, such as Dwarka, in the Aishwarya or kingly role, majestic role. But here in Vraj, Krishna wants to maintain his form of sweetness or his role of sweetness. So he gives all the women separate identities. They're all his Shaktis. Nothing is separate from Krishna ultimately. So, but he gives them a sense of their own identity, considering themselves as householders. He does this by his own astonishing Shakti. He empowers that kind of thinking within them. Krishna himself takes up a relationship with them as a type of Upapati, or someone who is outside the realm of being the husband, but being the lover. Krishna has agreed for this Parakya Ras. He he enjoys, because we know Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. So he can enjoy however he wants, but this is gives him a source of great pleasure. So Krishna arranges all of this scenario for his pleasure. Krishna then goes beyond his own nature of Atmaram, that is self-satisfied, and he begins to see himself attracted to others, loving others. And he can't live without them, in one sense, as they can't live without him. And he performs astonishing pastimes with them, like the rasa dance. He does this with the women who think they are married to others. Krishna calls them with the flute, and they have to sneak out of the home and meet with Krishna in the under the full moon night, like that. The flute is therefore the dear friend in all of these activities. It calls them like this sweet sound that calls the deer. So they're attracted. Krishna is calling. We have to run to him. By these qualities, Parakiya Bhav becomes eternal in Golok. For this purpose, all the pastime forests and Vrindavan are eternally present in Golok. The pastime places in Braj, such as the Ras Mandap, the Jamuna, the Govardhan, all are present in Golok. Swakiya, with married husband and wife, is also present in Golok. Pure Swakiya, however, is present in Vaikuntha. That is where there is a sense of being married, husband and wife is there, serving Krishna together. Swakiya and Parakiya are present in Golok, with inconceivable difference and non-difference. Also see a remarkable point. In Braj, Parakiya Bhav is tangible, seeing the women of another man's wife. Whereas in Golok, it may not be so apparent. However, she is not the wife of another man. Since the Shaktis all belong to Krishna, ultimately, we know they are Krishna's Shaktis. They're engaged in Leela, or pastimes, for the pleasure of Krishna. From time with no beginning, these women are united with Krishna, and thus Swakiya and being husband and wife is accomplished eternally. Abhimanyu and others are special avatars of the Abhimanas that exist in Golok. To nourish Krishna's pastimes, they become husbands and make him the leader of Braj pastimes in the mood of Upapatti. In other words, ultimately, even if they're husbands, they're not opposed, because everyone's there for Krishna's pleasure. So, even if that was the scenario, how could anyone be opposed to Krishna? Everyone understands, or by their very constitutional nature, not even understand may mean through the mind or something, but by their constitutional nature, they exist for the pleasure of Krishna. In Gokul, within this material world, that abhiman, that sentiment, becomes manifest by Yogamaya, with separate forms of cowherds, in order to perceive a transgression of married dharma. There has to be a particular mentality that arises within them. That is called the abhimana. That particular mentality that I'm married to someone else, but Krishna is wanting. And they only desire Krishna. Their marriages were arranged according to custom and so forth, but their real love is Krishna. And so there's a sense of transgressing the dharma of married life. By obtaining clarification of the tattva in his dream, this was all revealed within his dream, Vijay Kumar resolved all of his doubts. He had faith that Golok was the same as Gokul on earth, the great bliss of Braj Ras, becoming one with himself, manifested in his heart, that he began to identify with Braj Ras. He became fixed In the eternal pastimes of Vraj, studying the eightfold pastimes, he rose at dawn and thought that his Guru had given him unlimited mercy. Hearing from his mouth the ingredients of ras, he would now attain steadiness in his bhajan. The eightfold pastimes were originally compiled by Krishnadas Kaviraj in his Govinda Lilamrita. Krishnadas Kaviraj is the author of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, and we're most familiar with that book. But he also wrote the Govinda Lilamrita, which are the pastimes of Krishna in 8 portions of the day, starting at the end of night, that is upon awakening, bringing us to the evening time all through the day. What does Krishna do? What do the gopis do? Bringing us to the point of meeting again in the nighttime and engaging in conjugal ras, and then in the morning waking. So this circle of time, we'll say, transcendental time. We were discussing this last week also, that time in the material world decreases things, ultimately brings about decay and death, but time in the spiritual world is just the opposite. It keeps gaining momentum and giving new life and new realization and new ecstasies as time goes on and on. It's eternal. So after eating prasad, Vijay Kumar at a suitable time fell at the lotus feet of his Guru and cried in great love, prema. Goswami raised him up and said, Krishna has really been merciful to you. Seeing you, I feel fortunate. Saying this, Goswami became overwhelmed with prema. Taking Vijay to his chest, he began singing verses from the Prema Vivarta. The person whom Krishna, being pleased, gives mercy and is fortunate within this world. The supreme bhav of Golok then manifests in his heart. Attaining Golok in Gokul, Maya flees. This is from the Prema Vivarta. There's also another book, describes the ecstasies of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the ways of divine love. This was written by a dear friend, actually, of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Jagadananda Pandit. They were childhood friends, and Jagadananda was a dear follower of Sri Chaitanya, but they were so intimate together in friendship that sometimes they would even argue and play around in that way. But there's a wonderful verse. The person to whom Krishna is pleased gives mercy and is fortunate within this world, and the supreme bhav of Golok then manifests in his heart, and attaining that Golok in Gokul while residing in this material world, Maya flees. Singing this for a long time, Goswami then returned to external consciousness. Vijay Kumar, offering respects, began to speak. Vijay Kumar said, O Master, O Prabhu, I do not know Krishna's mercy. I know that your mercy alone is the cause of success. You may speak of Krishna's mercy to me, but I don't know. I know you, and I know you. By your mercy, all of this has come about. Giving up attempts to try to understand Golok, I will understand Braj and be satisfied. I will learn about all the varieties of Ras and Braj. I now return to the topic, O Gurudev. Are all the unmarried women, the Kanyas, who think of Krishna as their husband, called Swakiya, unmarried? Goswami says, the unmarried girls of Gokul who thought of Krishna as their husband at that moment became Swakiya, having fixed him as their husband. But the women of Gokul are by very nature Swarup Parakiya. Though they do not have Swakiya natures, they don't have the nature of being married. They sometimes feel themselves also married to Krishna by rites of Gandharva marriage. In the present day vernacular, they say love marriage. Gandharva marriage is a love marriage, and sometimes it is simply an exchange of garlands like that. And thus, in this way, Krishna accepted them as his wives. And thus, this was accomplished in the pastimes of Gokul, that some of them wished, they desired to be the wives of Krishna. And so Krishna would allow that thinking. Although they were married to others, they would exchange garlands and perform this Gandharva rite. Vijay Kumar said, "Oh Prabhu, I will gradually ask many questions. I will understand all the topics in the order given by Rupa Goswami in his own Ujjala Nilamani. But I want to understand everything about Krishna being the hero, the Nayak." Hero means the principal player. In a drama or something, there is always the hero, the Nayak. Krishna is the Nayak of Vraj. And everything centers around him. Goswami says there is no other hero except Krishna. In Dwarka, he is considered perfect, Purna. In Mathura, he is considered more perfect, Purnatara. But in Braj, he is the most perfect, Purnatama. This Krishna has two types in these places. Husband, that is the Pati, and the paramour, the Upapati. They may be considered 6 types if you take the 3 dhams and then consider the 2 types. 2 times 3 is 6. The hero is experienced according to the pastime, part of the pastime and the goal of the hero. Vijay Kumar said, "Oh Prabhu, I can understand the variety of heroes and the varieties of the qualities in the hero. I want to understand the various types of assistants, those who serve the hero." Goswami says, the hero, who is the Upapati, Krishna, the lover, has assistants, or those who serve him. The Cheta is a direct servant. The Vita is considered a rogue companion. Vidushak is the clown companion, makes Krishna laugh. Pitamard and Priya Narmasaka are also various types of companions. They have the following qualities. They're all skillful at joking. They know how to make Krishna laugh. They're always endowed with deep attachment for Krishna. They're knowledgeable of time and place, skillful at pacifying an angry gopi. If a particular gopi finds out that Krishna was with another, they know how to pacify her. And they're able to give intimate counseling. So these servants of Krishna are unique in as much as they know Krishna as the lover. They're his friends, but they know, not all the cowherd boys know of the intimacy Krishna has with the gopis. It is not open information for all. To maintain their innocence as cowherd boys, or to maintain parental affection, these things are covered. They're not understood by everyone. But Krishna has those who are very close to him who know and assist him in making all the arrangements required. Vijay Kumar says, who is the Cheta? Goswami says, the Cheta, or the servant, is skillful at accomplishing tasks, doing things secretly, and is bold in his intelligence. In Gokul, Krishna has Chetas like Bangura and Bringara. So they're ready to do what Krishna orders, to make some arrangement for Krishna meeting with the gopis. So they're skillful at accomplishing their tasks. Who is the Vita? Goswami said, one who is skillful, dressing in disguise, who is cunning, who is persuasive, and who is knowledgeable of tantric methods to control women, and is called the Vita, or the rogue companion. Kadara and Bharati Bandhu are 2 of the Vitas. They can dress in a skillful way, a disguise, so they can actually enter into the home and let the particular gopi know what Krishna is thinking, where they will meet. They are persuasive, cunning. They also know various tantric procedures to control the women. Vijay Kumar then says, who is the Vidushak? Oh, the Vidushak. He is fond of eating. He likes to make a commotion, causing laughter, and his strange contortions with words and clothing. Everyone knows Madhu Mangal. Madhu Mangal and Vasant act as Vidushaks or clowns. They're fun to be around, and Krishna enjoys their company because they make everything fun. Madhu Mangal is always saying, I am the Brahman, my duty is to eat, and your duty is to feed me. It's like that. So they're fond of eating like that. And they're good at making laughter and jokes. Who are the Pitamardas? Goswami says, he who has qualities equal to the hero and imitates him is called the Pitamarda, or the impudent companion. Shidan is seen in this way. Vijay Kumar asks, what is the qualities of the Priya Narmasaka? Those who are dearmost to Krishna. The Priya Narmasaka knows the most intimate pastimes of Krishna, covets the desire for Krishna meeting the gopis. They long to see that Krishna is happy, and they'll arrange everything for Krishna's pleasure. They're ready to do anything so that Krishna is brought together with the gopis, because they know this is what Krishna's happiness. So they work for Krishna's happiness. He is the best among all the dear friends of Krishna. In Gokul, there is Subal and Krishna's friend, not the Bhagavad Gita Arjun, but another called Arjun, Arjun Saka. So they are Priya Narmasakas. In this way, there are 4 types of friends. Vijay asks, are there no females among the assistants? Yes, there are. They are called dutis. Oh, how many types of dutis are there? There are 2 types. Duti means a messenger. They are Krishna's glance and his flute. This is how Krishna sends the messages. And they're considered female servants. The message to the gopis. If they're in his vicinity, he can charm them with his glance or with his flute playing. Who are the Apta duties? Vira, Brinda, and other Krishna has assigned as messengers. Vira speaks boldly. Vrinda is expert at flattery. The Swayam duties and the Apta duties are extraordinary messengers. The ordinary messengers are ascetic women, linginis, fortune tellers, craftswomen, etc. These will be explained when speaking of the messengers of the heroine. When we start to speak of Radharani, then this will come into play more. But for now, I'll give you this information, says Goswamiji. Vijay Kumar said, I have understood the bhav, the qualities of the hero Krishna. I have understood that Krishna has eternal pastimes, both as a husband and a paramour. He has pastimes as a husband in Dwarka and as a paramour in Braj. Our Krishna is a paramour. In other words, our Krishna Braj is a paramour. Thus one must know the description of the women of Braj also. One must know how he relates to the women, how the women of Braj relate to him. Goswami says, Krishna's lovers in Braj are generally parakiya, since the excellence of Madhurya Ras does not manifest fully except in parakiya, where they are his lovers who must sneak away from their so-called husbands. The rasa of the city women with marriage has restrictions. Marriage always has certain restrictions upon those who are married. But In Braj, the women break those restrictions and go for Krishna. The rasa of the women of Braj with pure desire, and is called Shuddha Kam. Shuddha meaning pure. Kam is identified with lust, but is Shuddha Kam. That means it's pure, spiritual lust. Krishna is the Kamadev. He is the transcendental Cupid, and he calls with his flute the young gopis to come and enjoy with him. Such love is unrestricted, and it gives Krishna the greatest happiness. Vijay Kumar says, what is the essence of this? Goswami says, Rudrabhat, he is one who is expert in Shringaras. He has written about the nature of Shringaras. And it is his descriptions we follow. Coyness, unavailability, rebuffing in a woman's behavior are considered to be the ultimate weapon of Cupid. Showing some coyness or unavailability or rebuffing. In Vishnu Gupta Samhita it is said, when a woman makes a point of resisting, becoming unavailable, the man becomes more deeply attached. This is all in the art or the play of love. The woman will restrict, no, I'm not available, but therefore the man becomes more excited to meet. So Krishna becomes more excited to meet when there is some play like that. Though Krishna is Atmaram, self-satisfied in Ras Leela, he performs pastimes with each gopi in a separate form. All sadhakas should act in obedience to the Rasa Leela. Here the instruction is that the sadhaka, that is the practitioner of devotion, if he desires auspiciousness in his life, he should enter the pastime as a devotee. He should not act like Krishna. In other words, there are some pseudo-sampradayas where they take the role of Krishna. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu never taught this. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his lineage teaches that we must take on the mood of a gopi. That is our sadhana. To learn how to please Krishna. Not to become Krishna, not to become the enjoyer. That is Krishna. He is sole enjoyer. He is the nayak. He is the nayak, and all others are nayikas that are servants to that supreme hero. Therefore, the conclusion is that one should follow the gopis with the bhav or the mood of the gopis. One should never imitate Krishna or act like Krishna, but one should follow the mood of the gopis. This is how the heart is cultivated in the pastime, in the sadhaka, as he cultivates his consciousness to enter into the divine leelas of the Lord. Oh, please clearly explain the bhav of the gopis. Goswami says, Krishna, son of Nanda, is a cowherd. No one except him can enjoy the gopis. No one can step into his role. As the gopis serve Krishna, the sadhaka, he who is practicing his devotion in Raga Marg, he begins to qualify himself for Madhurya Ras by worshipping Krishna, following in their mood, thinking oneself a gopi of Braj on the path of meditation. He begins to cultivate the mentality of that I am also the maidservant of Krishna. And therefore, as I serve Krishna, I do so for his pleasure. He is my hero. Everything is directed towards him. Acting as assistant of a fortunate gopi of Braj, one should serve Radha and Krishna according to her instructions. And then one should also think that I am under the care of Radha and her associates. Not directly to Krishna, but through Radha, I serve Krishna. It is through Radha and her expanded forms that I serve Krishna. If one does not think of oneself as married to another man, the ras cannot arise. This concept of being married to another is the quality of a gopi, They feel themselves married, and that is the important aspect. But yet, they'll do everything for Krishna's pleasure. Rupa Goswami himself has written, the gopis did not marry the cowherd men, who held no animosity, because the cowherd men saw forms of the gopis made of Maya. In other words, Yoga Maya creates the scenario for Krishna's transcendental pastimes. Therefore, the gopis, in actuality, do not have relationship with their husbands, but they conceive of being married as arranged by Yoga Maya. The husbands of the gopis are forms made by this Yoga Maya potency. And the mentality is that they are married. The marriages are all arrangements of the Yoga Maya, just for the enhancement, because Yoga Maya serves Krishna, and all arranged for Krishna's pleasure. So, all of this is arranged for the pleasure of the Lord. So, how can one conceive of this? Goswami says, one should think, I was born in a house of cowherds in Braj. This is a meditation. I was born in a house of cowherds in Braj. When the time arrived, I was married to a particular cowherd. When that conviction is there, the greed for enjoying with Krishna becomes very strong, superimposing on oneself the concept of being a married cowherd woman who has not given birth. In other words, there's no child or anything. Yeah. That is called Gopi Bhav, the cultivation of the mood Gopi Bhav, the Bhav or the mood of the Gopi. And one should cultivate that mood on the path of Raga Marg. Oh, how can a man make such an mental idea? Goswami said, by the influence of material nature, one thinks oneself to be male. In a pure spiritual nature, the jiva is always considered female and Krishna is considered the male. This is the general understanding of Vaishnavism, Gaudiya Vaishnavism, that we're all female as being Nayikas, servants to the Supreme Nayak, Krishna. So one has to give up the false identification with the body and cultivate the internal meditation that I am a maidservant of the gopis of Braj, like that. Those who desire Madhurya Ras then are qualified to become women of Braj according to the desire. By performing their sadhana continuously, one will manifest a suitable form within one's mind or consciousness. What is the glory of women married to another? When the married women of Braj desire to enjoy Krishna, then by nature they become ornamented with the most extraordinary beauty of prema. Their beauty comes out at the moments, the extraordinary beauty of prema, with a wealth of all good qualities and great splendor. Sweetness of ras, which exceeds even that of Lakshmi Devi. Vijay Kumar said, this is a remarkable conclusion. Oh, my life air is enlivened. So we're going to stop at this point. Let me see how far. Yeah, we'll stop at this point. Goes on further. So this is a remarkable conclusion. We've gotten through that. Now, I'm so excited. My prana is enlivened. Please teach me about the Nitya Priyas. So we'll begin here on our next reading. Jai Gaur Premanandi Haribol. Jai Shri Shri Radhe Shyam.